What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode of JohnnyVTV Live. I'm yours truly, JohnnyVTV. Joining with me, as always, my boy Nick Durst. What up, Nick?
What's going on, fellas?
And we got Kyle Donnelly, donning the Titans hat today. What's up, kid?
How we doing, John? Another day.
How's the weekend? Everybody do anything fun?
Listen, beautiful weather up here in the Northeast. Outside all weekend, but I mean the problem with the weekends is everybody's working for the weekend, and then the weekend starts and it's Monday. It's like enough of these long work weeks. We need weekends, extended weekends here. They're too quick, especially when it's nice weather.
Yeah, just simple weekend.
That's good. All right, guys, we got some stuff to get into today. We got a nice little show going on. So without further ado, first topic: the San Francisco Giants. Are they a force to be reckoned with right now? Because they're sitting atop the NL West in a division with the LA Dodgers, San Diego Padres, building a semi-nuclear arms race in that division. We forgot all about the Giants, and here they are, and they're sitting atop. Yeah, granted, it's only 6 weeks into the season, but with two talented teams in that division, it's San Francisco sitting on top right now. What are we thinking?
I don't think they're a force to be reckoned with, and the reason for that is so far, they've had the easiest schedule in the majors, which is fine for them because eventually it all evens out. But they're doing what you got to do. Take advantage of the schedule, win the games. The Dodgers have a ton of injuries, so that's why the Dodgers are struggling at 23-18, which is still the fourth best record in the National League. We'll talk about Pulse in a bit and what that's going to do for them. And the Padres, they're a half game behind the Giants right now. And they've missed Tatis a bunch, his injury, and then his COVID. So once San Francisco gets into the meat of their schedule, and that means playing the big boys, playing the Padres, playing the Dodgers, when they go to play the NL Central and they're taking on the Cardinals, taking on the Brewers and the Cubs, who are no easy outs, that's where things could maybe get a little tricky, a little dicey for them. The last 2 years, they've been in it. 2 years ago at the trade deadline, they went for it, and then that totally backfired on them. Last year, same thing, but they have their core, they have their nucleus. These guys that won the World Series, they're all still there, except Bumgarner. But the Giants, I'm going to say, not a force to be reckoned with, but I will say Buster Posey is a force to be reckoned with because he's looking great this year. Best catcher in the league, once again, retaining his, taking the crown back from everybody else after, up and down, and he opted out last year. Posey's back. He's trying to play himself into the Hall of Fame, and he's a big part of the Giants' success so far this season.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there, Nick. I really don't see them as a force to be reckoned with. You got San Diego and LA out in that same division. I think it's just a case of they got out to a hot start this year. Give San Francisco credit where credit's due, but I don't see it really lasting long. It's kind of like a similar situation with the Red Sox. I mean, how long do you really see it lasting? And that's a Red Sox fan. I hope the Red Sox would hold up, but it's a long 162 game season. I don't think that San Francisco is going to be able to hold up with LA's absolutely star-studded roster, and same thing with San Diego for that matter.
Well, it's interesting because to think about the Giants, and on my new JDF Sports podcast, Talking Shop with my man Bobby Moe, we talked about this actually. You can't win the division in May. That's fair. That's all well and good. I understand that. But they're still a team, just like how the New York Giants were 10 years ago. Don't forget the pedigree, the championship pedigree that San Francisco has. They were a team 10 years ago that if they got in the playoffs, you did not want to face them. They just, whatever it is, man, they were a team that was always hanging right around the 500 mark. They had to sneak their way in. But guess what, man? Once they got in, they took off, and they just took every single powerhouse down. While I agree this isn't the same roster, they still got the Buster Poseys, the Brandon Belts, the Brandon Crawfords. They have a great manager. They have a good nucleus of young talent. And while I think the Giants are eventually going to fade, and it's probably going to be sooner rather than later, you got to give them credit for their hot start. And they have a lot of good young talent. So this is a team, in my opinion, like the Arizona Diamondbacks, who also reside in the NL West. Maybe 3-4 years, we might be looking at two teams that are right around the 85, 86 win mark and fighting for a playoff spot. And again, you're probably not going to want to face these teams when that time comes. But if we're talking about present day 2021, no, I'm not thinking that they're going to be a playoff team. I mapped it out. I thought they were going to be right around their win total was right around 75, 76 games. I think they could be a 75 to 77 win team, which is still a good season. And in my opinion, and probably a lot of other people's opinions, that's above expectations of what they were looking at for the 2021 season.
Yastrzemski and Tachman have been great. These guys are the Giants are good at getting these cast-offs, bringing them over. They have success. We saw with Aubrey Huff and Cody Ross to the World Series carry them. What's interesting about the Giants is what do they do with the deadline? Or if they're in it, they're going to go for one last time with this group. If they're not in it, are they going to sell off? Because Posey, Crawford, Belt, and Cueto, all free agents after this season. I would say maybe two of those guys are back. I say Cueto's probably gone. I think they're going to sign. If they sign Posey, then that's going to be the end of Belt because Posey's going to move to first. They got Joey Bart. He's up already. He's going to catch. So it's going to be Posey or Belt coming back. I don't think they'll probably re-sign Crawford. But it'll be interesting to see what the deadline, much like the Cubs, they got a lot of guys caught up in free agency here, and it's going to be a big July to determine the future of the franchise, not just for the season.
So you like Buster Posey to basically become the Joe Mauer, essentially, of that franchise?
I think his offense is playing really well this year. I don't think he's going to kill you defensively. Belt's been great, but ultimately what it comes down to, you got to get the fans in the ballpark. I think it would be tougher sell to the Giants fans to say, hey, we're going to let Posey go. Come see Brandon Belt at first base. But because the thing is, Posey's either way, I don't think Posey's catching it all next season.
Yeah, his body's probably not allowing him to anymore. He's probably getting at that age.
I mean, yeah, man, I would anticipate the Giants being a seller at the deadline. They have a couple guys. Like, I know the Yankees are trying to fill a left-handed bat in the lineup, so maybe they can go poach one of those guys from San Francisco. You never know. I mean, but even a pitcher, look at a Kevin Gausman, dude. He's this late in his career, he's been an absolute revelation. He's been awesome. Yes, maybe he's faced a little bit softer lineups, but at the end of the day, you still can't ignore what he's done. I mean, the guy's struck out 11 batters, even if it was against the Pirates. I mean, it sucked because he was going for a complete game shutout, and Pirates ended up winning that game in the bottom of the ninth or bottom of the 10th. I mean, but he's doing some great things. So it remains to be seen. But their division rival, who many people have pegged to be a repeat champion, the LA Dodgers, big acquisition the other day. That is one, Mr. Jose Alberto Pujols. Pujols gets let go from the Angels. That was unfortunate. He had some pretty good seasons in formerly known as Anaheim Angels, followed by a Hall of Fame career in St. Louis on his own accord. Now he goes to the crosstown rival, which is somewhat surprising because he's not playing much of the field anymore. I mean, he probably could still get some reps over at first base, but he's going to be more of the DH guy, and obviously they don't have that in the NL right now. But this is a unique situation because the Dodgers have been fighting all of these injuries, and with a guy like Cody Bellinger on the shelf for honestly who knows how long, because now he has a hairline fracture. He's had one, but I really like this pickup for the Dodgers because, listen, Pujols is nothing close to what he used to be. However, he's still a guy who could give you some production. He's a guy who could step in. He's a pretty good pinch hitter if you need him off the bench. But above all else, he's a leader. He's a guy people gravitate towards. He's a guy people respect. He's just an all-around good person, and he's a consummate professional. So I think, especially for the younger guys, the addition of Albert Pujols can't hurt the Dodgers.
No, essentially like you said, John, it's not, it's not the baseball motto, but it's a motto used in another sport: next man up. So, the Dodgers are shorthanded right now. Like you said, Bellinger's got a hairline fracture. Next man up. You got to go find somebody. And when, they just cut a guy that, you don't lose your eyesight as a batter. That's the one thing you always keep, even at your later age. But, the physical attributes decrease. That's why, guys suck when they get older. But point is, he's going to give you a couple of decent hits here and there in a couple of decent spots. So I like the move. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, he's going to start at first base right now. Seager's out probably 2 months. They're going to move Muncy to second. Lux will go to short, or maybe Taylor will play short. You mentioned Bellinger's out. So he's going to play every day at first base. And in his we're not going to talk about last year, but the last full season, which was 2019, he had his worst season of his career. He still had 23 home runs and 93 RBIs. So he could still swing the ball. And I really don't like the narrative of, oh my gosh, Pujols sucked with the Angels. Because I'm going to read you his numbers with the Angels, and you just think of this no name, like this is a guy, and over 10 years with the Angels, he had over 1,000 hits. He had 214 doubles, 222 home runs, 783 RBIs. I think that's pretty good, and
it is really good.
So I think you take that. But everyone gives because of the Angels the crap for spending that money. But if you look at that contract now compared to the Francisco Lindor contract, that was quite a bargain. So I think Pujols is going to do well in the sense that he's going to play every day. He's going to be out there first base. Is he going to hit 300? No, he'll probably bat like 242, and he'll have like 15 home runs and 60 RBIs. But what's going to be tricky, John, is when everybody comes back, what's they going to do with Pujols? Because the Dodgers, they were always built for October. They got Kiki Hernandez, who is now with the Red Sox. They love that versatility. They got Taylor. He could play all over. Muncy could play all over. Bellinger could play all over. So it's going to be interesting to see if Pujols will even make the postseason roster, because he gives you no flexibility. He would just be a pinch hitter, essentially. He's not going to play the field. Maybe if they got to the World Series, he'd DH. But I would hate for Pujols to have some sort of success here, and it is all for naught because the Dodgers decide when everybody's back, we're going to let him go because we got to clear up a roster spot.
But something, I think right now this is a short-term fix. Obviously, Pujols is not going to be part of their long-term plans. And let's call it what it is. He was owed $30 million this year by the Angels, which they're going to be eating most of it. There was prorated part of this financial structure due to the amount of games he's already played, but they got a flyer on him. They got him for nothing. I mentioned this the other day. I think because listen, he was batting 200, 5 home runs. Is that record-breaking numbers? No, but there's guys that are certainly doing worse. And let's call it what it is. I would have to think this is worse. I would have to think this is similar to like the A-Rod situation in New York. He was approaching 700 home runs. The Yankees did not want to be the team that had to pay him these financial incentives. There's financial ramifications that go along with getting these milestones. And Albert Pujols, every other day, it seems like he's eclipsing a milestone. He's sitting at 666 career home runs. Each home run he hits, he's getting closer to 700. I want him to get to that 700 mark. He deserves it. He's been nothing but sensational his whole career. He's done it clean, never tested positive for steroids during the steroid era while every other star player was doing so. So can we see another 33 home runs? I don't know, man. He's got 5 home runs this season. I'd love to see him get maybe 15 to 17 to finish out this year and then just pick up the difference next year. I don't know. I think teams will take a flyer on this guy. If he's shooting up in the MLB next year, I would think he's got to go to an AL team so he can.
We might have the universal DH next year after this because the CBA is
very likely.
Well, yeah. That's also the other thing. If the NL ultimately,
I think we're going to have a strike next year, though. We're going to not have a full season, so that would also hurt Pujols.
That's another thing.
I mean, listen, dude, this is a big thing. We're going to see, but I like this. I don't think the Dodgers are worried about what's happening in 2 months because they are paying pretty much nothing for Pujols.
I wish the Mets would have signed him. The Mets could have used him big time right now.
I mean, of course they could have used him, but it is what it is. I think this was a good signing for the Dodgers, and I don't think that they're worried about what happens in 2 or 3 months. They'll cross that bridge when they get there.
Yeah, I agree. I think of this kind of like the Moneyball deal with David Justice when he gets traded away by the Yankees, and the Yankees are paying to go play somewhere else, and it turns into a great financial situation for the Oakland Athletics. That's what you're getting here with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are essentially getting Pujols on a nothing contract, and they get a guy who can give him a big bat in a big spot.
Yeah, man. Hopefully he delivers, and it's. Everybody, it seems like the Dodgers are becoming the bad guys in the MLB, just like how the Yankees did with all the spending they've done in the last 100,000 years. But flipping it over across the country to the NL East. We talked about him last week. Nick, I don't appreciate you calling me a mush, calling me a jinx for saying it, but we highlighted them last week. The New York Mets, they were on fire. They were sitting atop the division. Right now, they're still hanging on by a thread. Clutch win over the Braves last night. Scary injury when Kevin Pillar took a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right to the face, gushing blood everywhere. Walked under his own power and given a thumbs up, said he's good, but you got to think he's going to be missing some time. So, can the New York Mets overcome all of these injuries? DeGrom, McNeil, J.D. Davis, now Kevin Pillar. Add them to the list. How are we thinking about the Mets?
Yeah, Pillar's on the IL. I mean, look at this lineup tonight. Pillar's leading off. Okay, Lindor's batting second. The guy is the worst hitter in the lineup. He's batting under 200, striking out all the time, dyeing his hair. Doesn't matter. Then you got Dom Smith, who has not hit much this year. Alonso's batting cleanup. Thomas Nito's batting fifth. Nito shouldn't bat fifth on a AAA team, let alone a major league team. And McCann's gets a big pinch hit RBI double off the bench last night, and he's benched. Yeah, that makes sense for us. Peraz is playing second. Lee's getting his first starting right. Castro's starting a pitcher for 1 inning. They're going to go bullpen game again, even though yesterday was a bullpen game because Walker was pulled at 3 innings. These guys are going to be shot by tomorrow. There's going to be, you got to hope for whoever's pitching tomorrow can go 9 innings because it's going to be rough. And then Fargas, who had a double, RBI double, is batting ninth. This is a rough lineup, John. This is the pitching has to hold him in it, but the problem is Walker's hurt now. Stroman didn't look good last time. They got to get DeGrom back. You're not getting Carrasco or Syndergaard or Lugo until June. So they need to play 500 ball from now till June in order to stay in the race.
Who told you that? Where'd you get that from?
Well, you said 500 ball for the whole time. The host.
Goddamn right.
But now, McNeil's a huge loss. Conforto's a huge loss. They're going to be out at least a month. So I don't personally think they could do this offensively. They decided to go trade for Cameron Maybin from the Cubs, and they put him in AAA. I don't know. Maybe I would sign Todd Frazier. He's a veteran bat. The guys love him. Puig's out there. They got to do something here because you're not going to get by for long with Villar, Lindor, Nito, Peraza, Lee, Farkas in your lineup with the pitcher batting eighth. It's just not going to work out.
Something? I would think that they could hold it down for a few weeks if Frankie Lindor was playing anything close to what he should be playing. If Pete Alonso was starting to hit his stride, these guys are not. And the Mets just called star prospect Khalil Lee up, and hopefully he can kind of bring it along, provide a little bit of juice and a little bit of energy to that lineup. Right. Because I agree with you in the regard that it's not looking good for the Mets. But I disagree with you because the fact is the Mets are still talented and the rest of the NL East is it's all up for grabs.
Right now the Mets are in first place.
Yeah, right. But it's
Phillies
all up for grabs.
Phillies are okay, 21-20. We had our guy on last week. The Marlins suck, the Nationals suck, and the Braves aren't that good. So they can, as long as all they got to worry about is winning the division this year. They're not going to win the wild card with the Padres, right? So they got to go. They got to win the division, and the division's weak right now. If you could, even if you play you play 2 games under 500 until even Guillorme comes back. Guillorme comes back would be huge. They need Nimmo back. J.D. Davis, he's probably going to come back this week. So you got to tread water here, but you can't be losing series. You can't be getting swept on the weekends. You need to win games.
Now, I know this isn't the Mets' normal lineup, Nick, but that being said, do you think this looks like the Campbell lineup that the Mets had, 2 or 3 years ago?
No, Campbell was much better. That guy was an on-base percentage machine. I loved Eric Campbell. Big fan of him. Now, we're talking. If you want to talk about the John Mayberry days when he's batting cleanup, that lineup was atrocious, but the Mets went to the World Series that season because they made the moves they had to make in May. They got Uribe, they got Kelly Johnson, and they got Cespedes, they brought up Conforto. So that's maybe what they got to look for. I would assume Zach Porter he's looking on the mark. Zach Scott is looking on the market right now for something, but at this point, nobody's really selling off. I mean, maybe you could sell. Maybe you get somebody from the Twins because it's over with the Twins. They're calling up a guy.
Oh, it's over, Johnny.
It's over with the Twins. They're calling up Bailey Ober, but it's too late. You can't win the division in April and May, but you can lose it. The Twins look horrible, so maybe they can get somebody from the Twins. Get Donaldson, maybe. We'll see. Other than that, there's no team right now that's like so atrocious that is going to be selling off pieces. Maybe the Rockies. You want to make a blockbuster, go get Trevor Story, but I don't really see them being able to make a big time impact trade in May.
What about the Pirates? Go get the kid Colin Moran. He's a pain in the ass. He's a good hitter. He's batting cleanup. He's coming in with timely hits.
But his contract's not up,
he's solid, bro.
They're not gonna flip him for nothing because his contract's up. Whereas you get guys with expiring contracts.
Have you seen the Pirates making trades in the past? They give up.
Not in the regular season.
What do you? Listen. I
get it at the deadline.
Moran will be traded at some point, 100%. But if you're going to
trade assets like they're selling off assets like they're Michael Jackson. What do you mean? They live to trade people. Like they live to trade their best players for peanuts. That's what they do.
What I don't understand. So the Mets, they obviously the outfield right now. They put Pilar on the IL. They call up Wilfredo Tovar, an infielder. Yeah, that makes so much sense. I don't know. Maybe they're expecting J.D. Davis to come back tomorrow, and maybe J.D. Davis will play the outfield.
Do you see Kevin Pillar's face on ESPN right now, man? I mean, they show that's why you saw the reaction I had before when I had my mic muted. I saw that. Wow, that was the first time I saw it because I was on my way back from school last night. Good Lord, how is he not dead?
Yeah, he said he'd be playing today if he could see. He just can't see.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a seeing eye dog for the foreseeable future. Glad he's all right, though.
No kidding, man. I mean, 95 off the nose like that. I mean, he took it right there.
Yeah, and
he's got a split from tip of the nose to all the way up the bridge.
Yeah,
wow, that is
not good.
Raccoon eyes and swollen.
So breaking news on Pilar, actually, Mike Puma, the Post. Pilar, his only damage is to his nose. It needs to be reset through surgery, and he can then resume baseball activity 10 to 14 days after that procedure. The procedure will not occur before the Mets return home next week. So Pilar's out 6 weeks here.
Well, we'll see if they can hold it down in the meantime.
Next man
Hopefully Almora could come back, or somebody. Nimmo,
somebody do something.
Yorme,
Somebody do
Davis.
something. Somebody do
Call
something.
up Ronnie Mauricio at this point. I mean, the guy's ready to go. He's killing it in single A with the Cyclones.
All right. Now, we got something big from one outfielder's injury to another. Los Angeles Angels played last night. Mike Trout. We don't say this that often. We're worried about him. Why? Because he strained his calf. There's tests pending on him. And honestly, anytime you got one of your star players, it's a problem. Now, hopefully, and I say this very, very optimistically, he won't miss more than a handful of games. Maybe he'll miss a week tops, no trip to the injured list. That would be the best case scenario. The Angels cannot lose this guy for any extended period of time. He is the heart and soul. Yes, Shohei Ohtani, when he's playing in the field, has been awesome, leading the league in home runs. 13, hit an absolute piss missile last night that was seeming like a foot out of the zone, up and away. Doesn't matter. He turned on 94 miles an hour and sent it 450 feet into orbit. But Mike Trout is the engine. He's the heart and soul of this franchise. And I forgot almost. He's the best player in baseball. So you cannot lose this guy for anything more than a week tops because the Angels are one of the biggest underachievers in the last 5 to 7 years, and they have literally no pitching. Like, it's not even funny. Your best bet is to go get Jose Quintana so he can strike out 8 guys in 3 innings, but walk 6 in 6 innings. Like, it's a non-starter, dude. Like, you can't lose Mike Trout. So are we worried that Trout is going to be out for a period of time? Like, what are we hearing about the tests?
Well, I'm not going to lie. This is first I'm hearing about Mike Trout. I've been a little busy with my schedule. But that being said, Mike hasn't really missed any extended period of time over his career. So he's kind of been an Iron Man in that sense. I don't see him really missing a hell of a lot of time off this. I would say, at most probably a week and a half.
From Kyle's unprofessional medical opinion. Thank you. Nick, have you heard anything from a medical professional?
I mean, I think Trout's going on the IL. Angels are already in trouble at this point. They're already below 500, and they're in a good division. So the Trout's going to be out for a bit. It's going to impact his MVP candidacy this season, and it's going to definitely hurt the Angels.
Wait, are you reading this that he's going to the injured list, or is this like your opinion that's also medically unprofessional?
Well, according to CBS Sports,
it's CBS. How much weight can you hold on CBS's word? Not much.
I should have got an NBC Sports report for JohnnyVTV. But he's been limping, so it's a minor strain, but they're going to play it safe most likely, and he'll have a quick stint on the injured list.
So 10-day, not 60.
Not 60 now, but nothing confirmed yet. But you know what? We'll know probably tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be terrific now, wouldn't it? So it's my favorite time of the day. You know why? It's the Gambling Guinea's best betting trends of the night. Hello, how you doing? First off, we got the Giants. We just talked about them earlier. First 5 today, they're actually plus 110. Do you know why I love the Giants today? Anybody take a guess? No, this is my time. Nobody speak. That was a rhetorical question. Thank you. Luis Castillo for the Reds, the guy who I thought, like many others, might win a Cy Young in his career. He has been dog shit. He's been awful. 1-5 with a 7.71 ERA. His strikeout numbers are way down. He's only got 29 through 37 in the third innings. He's been awful. Like there's no other adjective to describe him. He had one good start that I can remember this year. It was against the Pirates, which is almost like a AA team. I mean, neither here nor there. But the Giants have been playing great ball. I think they're going to get off to a pretty good start. They got Anthony DeSclafani, Paisan. How you doing? 3-1 with a 2.14 ERA this year. He's been very solid, very respectable, and the Giants just figure out ways to get it done. The Reds' offense is different at home, but they've been in a bad slump. They just cannot figure it out. Joey Votto's on the shelf right now. Listen, of course the Reds could get off to an early hot start. We need the Giants to get the first 5. Castillo, he's been throwing a lot of pitches, so hopefully the Giants could do that money ball thing where they just take a ton of pitches, get that pitch count up early on, and cash in when they got guys on base. The Giants have been doing really well this year, and I think they'll be able to take the first 5. You're getting plus money on it. That's a pretty solid bet. And let's make Luis Castillo beat you, huh? Who's up for that? Me. Next, we got the Chicago White Sox, my favorite first 5 bet of the season. Dude, they're like 25-5-7 this year in their first 5. Absolute butter, Your Honor. No objections. Michael Pineda was a late scratch, not injury related, so we have yet to find out what that is. So they're starting a guy who's making his first career start. It is Bailey Oder, the guy. Yeah, Bailey Oder. Wow, terrible name. In any case, the guy is pretty good at strikeouts. He was 17-3. He averaged well over a strikeout an inning in his minor league career, so that's something to keep an eye on. But Chicago, They absolutely mashed the Twins last night. We just talked about it. The Twins are not at full strength. They're absolutely awful this year. I predicted they would not be hitting their 89 win total. That was just flat out ridiculous. That was a layup. That was more of a layup slam dunk than like Michael Jordan slam dunking it from half court in Space Jam. I mean, it was automatic. It was just absolutely automatic. But the problem is because Michael Pineda was a late scratch, the line moved up a little bit. So now I think it's a little bit better to lay the half a run. So the White Sox first 5 minus half a run, meaning they have to win the first 5 by at least 1 run to cash this. That's even money. To me, it's a pretty good bet. They got Lance Lynn on the bump tonight. He's been a savage. Let's keep it going. Light slate tonight. We got our boy Shohei Ohtani on the bump tomorrow to close out the Indian series. So without further ado, Kyle, talk about our emerged player of the night.
Our emerged player of the night, Shohei Ohtani. Well, let's just put it this way. That man is doing exactly what I said, which is when you come out and you perform in both hitting and pitching, you're going to garner the MVP talks. Now, obviously, you can't win an MVP race in May. That being said, Shohei Ohtani is absolutely tearing the cover off the baseball. And the man is pitching at a 2.11 ERA right now. You know who else has a 2.11 ERA? Max Scherzer. The man is flat out pitching lights out, and he's smacking the laces off the ball. This man is going to be the MVP this year, especially if Trout does miss a decent amount of time and the injury does happen to linger. I love Shohei Ohtani this year for our MVP. Oh, that being said, too, with tonight, I expect him. Let's see. I expect him to, I don't know, go 2 for 4. Maybe another home run.
Pop shot,
another home run, and 2-bagger. Why not?
Well,
but then again, how much is it going to matter? You know, because the Angels are 6 games under 500, so it's beating a dead horse with them. You know, no matter how good their individual players do, they can't find success on the field.
I'm going to disagree with you on Ohtani at the MVP. Listen, if Trout misses an extended period of time, then everything's in play because right now nobody's stepping up in the AL. I mean, Byron Buxton had a great case, but, you know, he's been in and out of the lineup. You know, the White Sox, they haven't had one player that's really taking the reins and stepping out front the way Jose Abreu did previously. The Yankees don't have anybody. The AL West, otherwise of excluding the Angels, nobody's really there. So Ohtani right now is definitely in consideration because of the lack of production from pretty much everybody else. But if Mike Trout does miss time, extended periods of time, then it's looking, you know, more likely. The pitching, the one problem I have with the pitching, like it looks good on paper, but like if anybody's watched Ohtani this year, like he's not been that good. Like that's why I think numbers do lie. He's had a couple good starts, but his problem is, dude, he rarely works deep into the ball games. I think he might have one game where he's went past 5 innings. He walks a ton of guys. His strikeouts are great, definitely. Yes, he does limit the damage, which is important, but as a pitcher, you know, he needs to keep progressing and keep getting better because he keeps stringing together 5-inning performances, walking 4 batters, 5 batters. You know, that's not going to get it done. Eventually, those runs are going to come around to score. But, I mean, listen, man, look at the numbers. He's been awesome. You know, there's no denying that. So, that being said, if he keeps it up and everybody else kind of just it doesn't stand out, then he's going to have some serious MVP coinage, and he might be able to take home the award this year.
Hopefully he's in the home run derby. I want to see him and Alonso go at it. It'll be a lot of fun.
That dude hits piss missiles.
Coors Field, by the way, home run derby is going to be awesome. They should let them use metal bats. Metal bats for that would be great. But how about, you know, the Angels are playing the Indians.
Somebody would die.
The Indians, they're looking good. Much better this season without
Zach Plesac on the bump. He's he can shove that kid. He gets himself into trouble sometimes. He's a young pitcher, but he has a live arm, and he is going to be very good for years to come. So with that being said, that's wrapping up our show. But before we go, let's get to some final thoughts. Take it away.
final thoughts. We got
talking the finals for final thoughts. I like it.
Yeah, talking about the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs here. Penguins are facing the Islanders tonight at 7:30. I like the Islanders in that series. The Islanders lead right now 1-0 in that series. I like them in that series. I like them to actually make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You got the Lightning.
No such thing. There's no Eastern. There's no West this year. It's just the 4 divisions.
You gotta leave me alone with that. Just let me act like it's a normal year with that. That being said, I do like them to get to the conference, whatever, the semifinal.
Final four.
Final four. Yeah, Final Four. We'll call it that. I like the Lightning to get there as well. Golden Knights versus the Wild. Yeah, I like Minnesota there. I like Zach Parise and Brandon Sutter.
Of course you like the former Devil.
Of course, well, why not? Duh. Capitals versus Bruins. I actually like the Bruins to upset the Capitals in that series. I think Boston's been playing really physical and very well as of late. You got the Canes against the Predators down in Nashville. I like the Predators there. You got the Oilers against the Jets. I'm going to probably go Oilers there myself. You got the Avs versus the Blues. I'm taking the Avs myself. And then you got the Maple Leafs against Canadians starting the series on the 20th. And I'm going to go with the Maple Leafs. Hopefully they can get off the schneid and finally fix some of their woes in the playoffs. That being said, I'm still going to take Tampa Bay as my Stanley Cup champion.
All right. I'm going to go with the Maple Leafs versus the Colorado Avalanche in the Stanley Cup final. This is the year, I think, that the Maple Leafs finally break through, get to the championship game. Is the easiest path they're going to have due to the Canadian division. Now, to basketball, let's talk about the NBA playoffs real quick. I really hope the Lakers somehow get bounced early, which would be fantastic. I want to see them. The Knicks, the 4 seed, the New York Knicks playing the Hawks. They're in good shape here, the Knicks, to get to the conference finals because they're going to play the Hawks. If they beat them, they'll probably play the Sixers. I think they can beat the Sixers. Their seeding worked out well. They weren't going to beat the Nets. They're not going to beat the Bucks. So, if they're going to play the Bucks or the Nets, it wouldn't be to the conference finals. Knicks, I think basically with the NBA, you can always go chalk when betting. You could always say, I'm going to pick the top 4 teams, and you'll probably win 6 out of the 8, 7 out of the 8. Johnny's disagreeing with me because the Lakers are a low seed probably.
Listen, guy, Ashbat, let's pump the brakes here. Give me the finals matchup and give me the winner. I don't care about all these conferences, who might play who. Give Daddy a winner right now.
All right, I'm gonna say the Utah Jazz beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals.
Hello. Hey, listen, for a long period of time, they were the best against the spread team in the NBA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I like the Nuggets as well. I think I would say if the Jazz aren't getting there, it's because the Nuggets finally break through. But the Lakers aren't getting there this year. I don't like the Clippers at all. And there's just something about the Nets that you just want to hate them, and they can't get healthy if they don't have the big 3 in the conference finals.
Listen, you hate them. You don't want the Nets to win because they moved to Brooklyn. Now, I agree, they're much better as the New Jersey Nets. You have hometown bias.
I don't like Kyrie Irving.
They moved to Brooklyn out of New Jersey, and you can't stand to see them win. That's what this comes down to.
I hated the Nets. In 2001 when they were in New Jersey.
Yeah, but. Stop it. You knock it off right now. Are you kidding me? You're just upset that they moved to Brooklyn and you can't stand to see them win. You can't stand. Bro, listen, thank God you're married, bro. Seriously, thank God you're married because you probably couldn't stand to see your ex happy either if that wasn't the case. So,
Whoa.
I'm not from New Jersey. I don't care about the Nets. I'm not a Nets fan.
You're a pseudo Nets fan.
I don't like the Nets at all. They're my second least favorite team in the NBA.
Well, that's a hell of an accusation.
Hey, listen. Call it like I say it.
You can take the boy out of Jersey, but you can't take the Nets fan out of the guy.
That's right.
They are better than New Jersey Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are.
I don't care if they're playing in frickin' Alaska. I always root against Kyrie Irving.
That's fair.
He's a North Jersey guy, man. Root for Kyrie Irving, dude.
Kyle, tell Johnny why Kyrie Irving's the biggest knucklehead in the NBA.
Because he thinks the earth is flat.
There you go.
He literally went missing. He went missing for 3 weeks in the NBA
that's
season.
right.
No
He
bro,
did go
his
to
eyebrows.
Dennis
Crazy.
Rodman.
Look what Dennis Rodman did. That's legendary. You can't do
He
that
basically-
today.
he
Dennis
basically
Rodman
pulled
went to Vegas
Artemi
in the middle
Panarin.
of the season. Oh my
Well,
God!
Panarin,
Is
we
there
know why he
anybody-
went
is there-
missing.
Is
Kyrie
there
Irving's
anybody
at the
more
nightclub
interesting
with
in life
Drake.
than Dennis Rodman? Seriously, Dennis Rodman. I want him to have his own documentary, not just be featured in Michael Jordan's. Dennis Rodman might be the most interesting person to ever walk.
He has
the
his
earth.
own. He has his own documentary. It's out there.
I need
So
to
guys,
say
give me your NBA Finals picks.
I like the Nuggets and the Jazz in the West. I gotta go with the Nets, and
Knicks.
I don't want to be too cliche, but damn it, I could see the Knicks really getting there, man.
Wow,
I
Knicks
really
and Nets would be
could.
crazy. You know
That
what,
would- it
Kyle?
would set the
Could you
damn
imagine the
city
Barclays
on
Center?
fire.
The Barclays Center at the Knicks versus Nets. Not one Nets fan in the stadium, but
Nope,
Evan Roberts.
not one.
All Knicks fans in the
Evan Roberts,
Barclays.
that's it.
You know what?
Craig
It's funny
Clark
if the Nets
sitting
win.
right next to him.
If the Nets win the
Oh,
championship,
you bitch.
not even Kyrie Irving's going to go to the championship parade because nobody cares about the Nets.
I'll put the Nuggets Nets. I'll say Nuggets Nets.
Nuggets Nets. I like it. Jokic MVP. The guy was
Yeah, I
absolute
like Nuggets
piece of
Nets
shit.
too. I like that.
It's got a nice ring to it. It's got a nice.
I like
ring.
that we all
Nuggets
didn't
Nets,
pick
I
the
like that.
Lakers. I like it.
Yeah,
All
not
going
a hell of
against
the
the
Lakers. That's right.
Well, maybe we should start getting more NBA guests on. I could think of one, certainly. Our boy Jay Hen, our boy from Emerge Sports Group, our sponsor, our friend Jay Hen. We miss you, buddy, out there on the West Coast. He's on daddy duty, so he cannot be here tonight. But God damn it, if we get this guy on, we won't be able to shut him up. Pretty good. He'll talk a lot of NBA stuff. He'll talk your ear off. That being said, follow us on Twitter. I'm at _JohnnyVTV. If you are watching on Twitter, you obviously know my Twitter because that's where it streams mostly, mainly. Also on YouTube, JohnnyVTV. Our boy, my boy to the right, is at Nick_Durst. Twitterless Kyle is at the bottom. That is not his Abby. He doesn't have a Twitter. Like
at eventually.
yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe next Smithens Day. Next, check us out on Instagram. I'm at Gambling Guinea. To my right, Nick's Food and Stuff. Nick loves food. I don't know how he's so thin. And last but not least, we have the Kyle Donnelly at the bottom, rocking the Titan shirt. Is that a Blink 182 shirt?
Blink 182. That's right, bro.
That's a throwback, bro.
Yeah. How about that?
Your honor, no objections. Love that. Okay. Last but not least, we may, and I say this very optimistically, have a fire gambling guest on here next week.
Okay.
You guys don't even know who it is. Yo, should I keep you guys in the loop? Nah, I like surprising you.
Nah,
I'm going home. Listen, I'm doing the show from Tampa today. Next week, I will be in North Jersey. Home sweet home.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
it. I need some fresh Italian food. I got to go to my restaurant.
Where are you going to be at in New Jersey?
Some nice Maragoa. I need Sunday gravy. I need eggplant parmesan. I need the whole nine.
Sunday dinner.
Ham and cheese.
No,
Taylor,
I'm going down the shore, dude. Listen. I'm seeing my family half the trip. The second half of the trip, I am going to be down the shore Memorial Day weekend. Oh my God! Everybody, look out! The Prince of Tampa is coming home to get everybody down the shore in line. It's going to be
out, DJs.
It's a movie, bro. It's going to be a movie.
DJ Paulie D, eat your heart.
Bro, he's from Rhode Island. Don't you dare bring that up. What do you mean? He's from Rhode Island.
I know he is.
I'm
just saying he'll probably be down the shore.
My family built this place. No, he's in Vegas probably. Anyway, that does it for us tonight,
he's in Florida.
He's in Miami. Shut up. I'm closing out, God damn it.
We don't know where he is.
I'm JohnnyVTV.
Okay. So I'll send him a DM.
You want to exit yourself?
You got it.
God, this is not on this kid.
And
this is Kyle Donnelly to my right. Tune in next week, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have a really good guest, and we're going to have a lot of betting stuff. As usual, take it easy.
Peace out.